Testing the levels. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. John is outside farting. I told him I'd wait, but I lied. Oh, there he is. There's back. What do you
What's
have to
up, motherfuckers?
What do you have to say for yourself?
Where's my headphones? Good evening, cowards.
We decided to get a little moody, a little dark with the lighting because, why not?
Let me like this. I wore my Aphex
let's
Twin
make
shirt.
things a little more exciting. Aphex Twin, yeah, great
now
band.
we have mood lighting.
Let's do like the underworld ambiance, I think. Yeah.
You're in a real vibe mode tonight. You haven't been in a vibe mode in a while.
Yeah, I'm changing. Let's do like underworld ambiance red. Like, give me like
Underworld ambiance.
Should we do Mars, bro? Should we just should we
Martian
colonize
now.
Mars right now?
Dude,
like as a group.
Look up Doom ambiance.
I mean, this is kind of Doom.
Like the video game Doom. It's on Mars.
Patreon.
I would hate to have to fight demons on Mars.
I wonder if this is royalty free. It should be, right?
Yeah, they're all royalty free. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, they better be. I'm fucking promoting your shit. Armchair ambiance. That's right.
Would you live on a colony on Mars?
No. I
would.
mean, not by choice. Of course, things might end up that way very soon. Who knows? And again, if the real estate market is popping over there as I imagine it will be, then yeah, why not? Hi AD, welcome to my, what is it? Welcome to my hole. Like, what is it? Where would you live?
Welcome my temperature-controlled cavern. Here are the shiitake mushrooms. This is the only solid food we can grow on Mars.
It's just a dumb bitch that lives there. It's like the worst person on the planet.
Mushrooms and algae.
Yeah.
We make pasta out of it.
But yeah, I just feel like it's a vibe. Like we need more vibes. Okay, we need more vibes in this world. There's not enough vibes. All right, positive vibes only. And so we used to do these ambiances in some of our older episodes, and some people really fuck with it, and then other people are losers.
A lot of
so I don't know. Like Devin's like, oh yeah, take a girl and put her in the dark. Great idea. I'm like, okay, yeah. Well, when you put it that way, I guess you have a point. But sometimes there are things that supersede, wielding my physical power over the masses, which is over the very small masses, which is vibes and ambiance and aesthetics.
The two people I care about most who listen to the Ida Hour both said it was much better with mood lighting.
Matt and Hannah.
Yeah, don't say their names.
Oh, why?
They were very like, don't mention us ever on the podcast.
Oh,
so I was like, okay.
Well, it could be anybody named Matt and Hannah.
Well, they're like,
What? You've mentioned them on here several times. Okay, I'll cut that part out.
Love you.
No more edits. That's gonna be like, I want that on my tombstone.
No more edits.
I want that put on my tombstone.
Tattoo.
Here she lies.
You just can't get tattoos.
No more edits.
Tattoos are trash.
No more edits to the podcast. God damn, I love when my arm comes off thin. Like, what that does for me.
Dude,
what that does for me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I meet a woman who has like a thin arm, it weirds me out.
I really just don't understand you. Like, it's what we work for. Like, we work to get to a place.
It depends on the arm, but like, if sometimes I look at women's arms and I'm just like, how is that functioning?
Yeah.
Not in like an attraction way. I'm just like, how is your arm so little?
Yeah, well, because it should be feminine, sleek.
No? I'm like weak. I'm not like a strong man, but like I can like, I'm just like, it's like, what can you lift?
Nothing.
It's crazy.
No, nothing substantial.
How do you survive?
I don't want to be able to lift anything that's substantial. I mean, I want to personally feel strong. There's something very like empowering about working out and being in physical shape and being able to lift things that are heavy. However, there's a cap to that. I think like for me personally, as a woman, I want to look feminine above all. Like I would like to look feminine. I don't want to look bulky. I don't want to look fat. I went to I don't want to look roided up and muscly.
I went to a woman's house recently, and the first thing I zeroed in on is she had a 60-pound kettlebell in the living room, and I hate
kettlebells the way they look.
I was like, what the fuck do you like? That's an intense kettlebell.
If you're getting kettlebells, let's just be honest, you're a Gold's Gym type of bitch, which means
she's jacked. But I was like,
big bone.
She's jacked. She's in very good shape. But I was like, that's. I would be like.
I
mean, I can like deadlift a 60-pound kettlebell, but I'm like, you swing that fucker around in here? Like, that's crazy.
This might be really shitty to say, and I've said versions of this probably more nicely, but I don't care anymore. If you are a woman bodybuilder,
kill yourself.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
You can say, I mean, listen, what I'm going to say is going to
Edit
sound
number 2. No more edits.
You said it in a question form, so of course not. No, but I think there's a mental illness. No, yeah, because like why do you want the attention of men who want you to look like a man?
Well,
what does that say about both his sexuality and your own psychosis?
So female bodybuilders today and female bodybuilders of 30 years ago are very different. Like female bodybuilders of 30 years ago look like China, and they were like fucking
female
shredded.
bodybuilders from 30 years ago were me. Like I could
no, like China, like chicks on roids, dude.
Oh,
like chicks on roids.
I just meant like back then they weren't as crazy into fitness culture, and so maybe like you could be like the gymnasts back then were pretty thin and sleek, and now they're all like
you would buy these. I watched a documentary on this. You would buy these like deep VHS tapes, and it would be like women on steroids shooting machine guns, and it would be like dudes who want to be like crushed by them, and that was their kink. And like nowadays, you go on Instagram, and there's women who like are just look like they're in shape, but they're like I'm a bodybuilder. But like I don't see
like the people that work out at John Reed in downtown.
Yeah,
that's what we were talking about on the Patreon. Yeah,
but I don't see the jacked women anymore. Like I've met like muscle, like they look like Arnold Schwarzenegger with long hair.
Who?
Like these like bodybuilder women, these actual women.
Yeah, I hate that. I really hate that. I'm a big proponent of the divine feminine. I'm a big proponent of the beauty and ethereal wonder of women and the goddess-like energy that we bring to the table. I think it's our biggest asset. I think knowing our limitations as a gender and knowing where the biological evolution kind of has its cap on some levels is also a way to ensure you're living a better quality of life, because to deny your biology really becomes an impediment, I think, and that's so much of what we're doing culturally now is just denying what men and women are. And like, I don't want to be another person in the I hate trans people. That's not the thing. I don't hate trans people. By the way, trans people, you're making a commitment, right? You're chopping your dick off or you're putting one on. Huge difference. But if you're just like doing weird bodybuilder shit where you're like roiding yourself up at the gym, putting like, I used to know a girl that did it and she was like stunningly beautiful, and I was like, why are you ruining your body? Your boobs go away, everything that's beautiful about you kind of disintegrates. I'm sure there's a form of collagen loss on some level in certain parts of, I'm sorry to like fixate on these things, but like I just think that's such a essential part of like womanhood.
Are you talking about women on T?
Kind of women bodybuilders, because how are they becoming bodybuilders if they're not on T?
Well, women on T trip me out because they start sounding like little boys. They get like deeper voices. Their like vocal cords elongate. It's creepy.
So they are on T, the bodybuilders.
I don't think the women at John Reed are on T. I think the women at John Reed are just doing tons of squats to get. But big,
they're flirting. They're flirting with bodybuilding competitions and doing those weird tans and looking like. Dude. I mean, when I'm talking like bodybuilders, like I don't just mean like women who have like a dedication to the gym. I mean the ones that are doing competitions, like the one like. Let me give everyone a visual for people that don't understand what I'm talking about. Women with high
T have like dope asses and titties.
Yeah, that's the thing about women with high T. They don't have great tits because their tits deflate whenever you work out too much.
High T women are like the hourglass figure woman. That's like a woman who has a high amount of testosterone.
Naturally, yes.
Naturally, yeah.
So naturally, that's one thing. Yeah. I can attest to that for sure. But like, there's and yeah, you're absolutely right.
One of the cutest girls I knew would brag about how high T she was.
Naturally,
back in the day, yeah.
But the flip side of that is like hormonal mood swings and
you start getting a mustache and shit. That's the other thing that bothers me about trans women.
A man.
Trans. We're getting
one
really
thing
crazy
that bothers me about
trans men. The most thing that bothers me the most is that I'm highly attracted to them. Number one. Number two.
Go off.
No, I like tomboys and shit and like.
Wait, who are you highly attracted to? Trans women.
Trans men.
Trans men or trans women?
Women who want to be men. But that don't go like my cutoff is like they're just like I'm a man now and I cut my hair short. I don't like it so much when they're on testosterone.
You don't like the reverse? You don't like men that turn into women?
Fuck no. No, hell no.
Okay.
That's gay.
Interesting.
No, I just think it's kind of hot. But the thing is like
this is what I'm talking about for the people that don't understand
that's what I'm talking about.
What I'm referring
like women
to,
in the 90s.
This is horrific to me.
Well, there's a lot of dudes who love that.
Okay. They are
that's creepy
not only
shit.
Gay, but they have a weird fetish.
Yeah.
So if you are into this, and there is nothing wrong with being gay, but it's not just that you're gay. Like because gay people would not be attracted to this. there's something else happening. Like,
yeah, I could never
there's
fuck
something
that.
that's,
Ever.
I don't know that anybody can, John. Like physically, like I don't know that it's possible for something to enter something that is like
That tight.
literally a block of
like
fucking
stone.
muscle. And this can't be healthy. There is no
they all
fucking
died.
way that this is healthy.
I think Mike Metzer.
And more
was
importantly, it looks gross. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to take like a health risk and like fuck your body up and whatever, that's on you, fam. You do you. But why should we be subjected to it? You're obviously doing this for somebody that has some weird fetish, some sort of attraction to this. I mean, it's objectively horrific looking. In what universe? In what universe does any woman want to be with a guy who's this jacked, let alone a man to be with? I mean, are you joking? It's literally blackface. It's black body.
Well, they're
doing
paint,
black body.
They put the paint on so you can see their muscles better.
Yeah, but it's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's
Why?
gross.
Why are you covering yourself in mud?
I think
This
the
is
only
very
reason,
strange.
I think the only reason anyone should ever be on performance enhancing drugs is if they the only legitimate reason you should be on PEDs is fucking
PEDs? Excuse me, what is that?
performance enhancing drugs.
Okay.
Is like if you're like a first responder of some sort and you're like a man entering your like mid 40s. Like if you want to keep, if you're like a police officer or a firefighter or like you're like a fucking in the military or some shit and you're like entering your mid 40s and you're like, well, I just can't keep up anymore and I literally need to be physically strong in order to do my job. Like then like, yeah, hop on T.
Right.
But like, or like you're like doing manual labor in your mid 40s and like, yeah, by all means hop on T. But like, I don't know, dude.
I'm so sorry. Like
that back hair.
I don't
crazy.
mean this show
Check out the back
to
hair.
be.
Is that back hair?
That's not back hair. There's no way.
That's her hair?
Wait, maybe.
What the fuck is that, dude? She a fucking woolly mammoth?
Bro, did she just
Dude,
start growing that?
She looks
Why
like
did it grow in like perfect like?
She looks like that British actor who played Schmeagol.
Oh my god, you're right. Holy shit, yeah. Dude, this is a Medium article. It says, "What's it like being a female bodybuilder?" Let's turn off Mars.
Gay.
Gay. Fuck. I've been photographing female bodybuilders and physique athletes since the 1990s.
Gay.
Okay, you gay. Sorry, you gay. It is what it is. I always thought these women looked cool, like real life superheroes. Did you? Is that what you thought?
Yeah, that
or
was.
Or are
big,
you like a weird Robert Crumb type? Are you Robert Crumb?
It is
type?
definitely Robert Crumb, but
it's
like
Robert Crumb.
If you look at like comic books, like figures of women in the 90s, they like looked like that.
Like this.
Yeah. Unless it was like Girl Spider-Man. If it was like She-Hulk.
So they looked weirder in the 90s, you're saying, than they do now.
Dude, the 90s was crazy for like muscle.
What?
The 90s was nuts, dude.
Huge if true.
Yeah.
What do you mean it was huge for muscle?
Like, dude, like if you look at like popular, like you look at the artwork. Like look at the artwork for Earthworm Jim. Like it's nuts. Like this was just the 90s. It's like everything was fucking giant muscles and shit. Everything was Johnny Bravo, fucking huge muscles. I want some classic.
Yeah,
Earthworm
I mean
Jim.
that's cool, but this is animation. I mean, the animation is
but
always
that bleeds into shit. Like
No.
there was some really bad like comic book art in the 90s that was like ridiculous. Like me and my brother used to joke around because there was a guy who would cosplay at these comic conventions we would go to, and he would cosplay as Captain America, but he sewed muscles into his suit, but he had no knowledge of anatomy. So he just had all these little muscles everywhere, and we just called him Captain Tumor because it looked like he was covered in tumors.
sad.
But yeah.
I just feel like if you're ruining your body this way, there's something else happening internally that's not being addressed.
Yeah, body dysmorphia. You're crazy.
It's beyond body dysmorphia. I mean, body dysmorphia. It's like, girl, like, be normal and get anorexia like a normal bitch. Like, what is this?
I just want all,
Like, starve yourself. I'm sorry. Like, like, that's at least normal. Like, this is like, what is this? What is this? And you see girls, bro, that flirt with this idea, right? Like, they're kind of, because I will say,
with this?
yes.
Not just
they
like
flirt
getting a
with that.
fatter ass at the
There's
gym.
a way of flirting with this where I've seen girls that go from really beautiful physique that become, interested in working out, and it's addictive. Working out is addictive. Just like, that's why you should find good addictions like exercise, right? But again, you should be cognizant of the way you're looking on some level and like have some level of objectivity, both like physically with how you look, and then also just like the health wise, like how can it be good to pump yourself up with, I mean, do you know how difficult it is to eat an adequate amount of protein every day? It's so hard. Like, it's so hard to force yourself to eat a bunch of like protein. To do it on this level, to do it on this fucking level where you have to, how much do you have to eat to get to this point?
I'm a real with it.
It's crazy.
You just gotta be a
very
psycho.
hard. It's very hard. I have to smoke endless amounts of weed to just be able to like have the room to eat like a massive chicken or something after a workout. Like it's easier for me to just eat a bunch of like non-fat yogurt because I can just almost drink that.
Shit kills my stomach, but yeah.
I mean, for me, it's really like that's my option. I'm built for yogurt. Yeah. Yeah. We invented yogurt. My people.
You guys invented yogurt. We like
big yogurt. I mean, it's just like
which is crazy because we're cheese people. We had cheese.
You guys, you want the fatty shit. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I mean, of course, John always goes back to food.
Cheese is so good.
It says I always thought these women look cool, like real life superheroes. I collected comics as a kid. There it is.
Yeah, that's where the fetish comes from.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. But it wasn't until one of my friends at school asked me to shoot her at I was like, oh, they really are mentally ill. You want to shoot you in the face? Shoot her at a bodybuilding show that I really started to pay attention to these strong women. Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Since that first shoot, I've seen the female bodybuilding community grow from a small subgroup that participated in one big bodybuilding contest to a worldwide community of a variety of athletes who compete in different divisions and categories, including bikini, figure. Yeah. That's what people think of when they think bikini. They don't think like, a wet t-shirt contest. They think this bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fake news. It's just so nice having people around you all the time. It's so lovely.
Is that over there?
It is what it is. It's nobody's fault. It is what it is. So yeah, I don't know. Bikini, figure, fitness, and physique. Physique is the closest to bodybuilding, but athletes who compete in physique have less extreme levels of muscularity. In both types of competitions, judges look for muscularity, symmetry, and conditioning. Figure competitors are less muscular, as are fitness competitors. Both reward shape, balance, conditioning, and poise. As the category name suggests, bikini contestants wear a two-piece swimsuit and are judged by balance and shape. Figure, fitness, and bikini athletes usually don't flex in competitions, but they do perform a series of poses. Female bodybuilding and physique training is a pretty neat subculture. Okay, what? How does this guy write for Medium? It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat
It's
subculture.
neato, dude.
Bro, like the people on Reddit are more eloquent.
I wrote this article.
Yeah, probably. They're pretty neat. I want to fuck them. Yeah, they're all so hot. It's a pretty neat subculture and one that's often misunderstood. Even liberal, open-minded folks in the Bay Area have preconceived notions of muscular women, and often they are way off base. Like anyone who pursues a passion, these women just choose something that many others will never understand, but that also takes over their lives completely. Here are 7 Bay Area, Northern California women who compete as bodybuilders, physique, and fitness athletes whom I've met and photographed over the years. Yeah, I'm sorry, what am I misunderstanding?
It's a piece of beef
Please
jerky.
explain to me what I'm misunderstanding about this picture here. What is the big taboo that we all have wrong here? I'm sorry. Is this normal?
Yeah, all women should look like Frank Frazetta chicks. Like all women should look like they're clawing at the bottom of a barbarian. Like,
yeah, I mean, this is
like a goblin running by their legs.
I mean, if this woman showed up at my house, I'm not gonna lie, like I would be terrified.
Yeah,
I would be terrified. I don't even want to see this kind of person. I don't want to know what's under there. I don't know. You could just fuck me up by like touching me or bumping into me at Trader Joe's. I would die.
Yourself. You like you graze past and you're like, fuck.
It's the kind of thing where I feel like if she touched me, I would disintegrate. I really like. Her name is Carla Rossi, like the fucking wine. Holy shit!
Shut the fuck up. Her name's Carla Rossi. That kicks
It
ass.
makes a lot of
I
sense.
want to change my name to Carla Rossi.
If I too was named after the cheapest wine and the sweetest, grossest wine on the planet, maybe I'd have a complex.
So much weed and drink Carla Rossi.
Devin used to be obsessed with Carla Rossi. I would shit on that. It was one of the things. Yeah, I know. It makes me angry that you guys like know what it is and you ingest it.
It's the best because you can do it like the old Italian guys. You could put like hook it and go like this.
No, old Italian guys drink like Chianti.
Can I get ADD real quick? Because I mentioned Frank Frazetta. Have you ever seen his self-portrait?
No.
Do you know what that guy looked like?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my God, Queen. Okay, so every woman should look like a Frank Frazetta painting. So
I just know women that are flirting with this journey.
It's crazy.
And it's really weird to me because I can see them dipping into that. Their arms are starting to get really bulky in a way that's like not cute.
So
sorry, I'm not trying to be judgy. Everyone live their lives. There's my fucking podcast. Get off my back if this offends you.
That's what women should look like. Is a Frank Frazetta painting.
I don't know. She looks a little weird.
But Frank Frazetta was this like Guido, and he was like a greaser that like made all these like paint. This is what he looked like in the 50s, dude.
He's cute.
But the thing is like Frank Frazetta. Do you know how much his fucking artwork goes for?
No.
Dude, the Death Dealer. Let's see what that shit sold for. So Death Dealer's is, I think, his most famous painting. He was huge in the heavy metal art world. So this is the Death Dealer. It's an incredibly famous painting.
The Death Dealer?
It's the Death Dealer. It's just a guy on a horse with an axe.
Wow.
They're sold.
It looks like the fucking, what is that? Like True Religion, the other one that people would wear. The ones that like they would wear on the Jersey Shore.
Let's see.
By the way, if you're a fan of the Jersey Shore, we did a great
Death Dealer
Jersey
sold
Shore episode on the
for
Patreon.
$1.7 million.
Oh.
Dude.
What?
I mean, that's pretty awesome to have.
1.7 million.
$1.7 million.
I mean, people really should kill themselves.
I
Like,
mean, he's a
no, I mean,
phenomenal painter. Like, that's crazy.
John, do you understand the concept of spending $1.7 million on that? I think people are retarded for getting Basquiat's for like 25, 50 million. Jackson Pollock, fucking,
Nick Cage.
You know, paint splatter ass bullshit, Rothko's. Fucking all of that shit. It's like, it's not abstract expressionism. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
By the way, Rothko did like great paintings that were not acknowledged. I mean, what is this? This is like,
great.
Bro, there are graphic designers on Upwork that are more talented than this. I'm sorry.
Not at all. Frank Frazetta?
100%.
I mean, he was doing this
you
in
can
like
do
the
this
60s.
shit on like, what's that app that you can draw on? The good one. You know what I'm talking
come
about.
on now.
Hey, John,
one was
people
drawing
on
like this
there
in
are
the
men in the
60s.
Philippines that work for 30 cents an hour to do this, and they do it better.
How dare you,
And
dude?
and moreover, fucking AI can do this shit in 2 minutes. I guess that you could argue that about anything, but like it's not even cute art to me. Like I hate that. I hate this type
You don't like
of
Frank
art.
Frazetta?
No, I like that. I like that. That's
I would
because it
love-
looks like a Van Gogh. That's why I like it.
I would buy that. So I might buy that Frank Frazetta self-portrait like print and just get that in my room. That kicks ass. But I have too many pictures.
John will
of
pay
dudes.
$500,000 for it. He's like, it's a print, but it's
Auto
worth
Dick's.
it.
I have an Auto Dick self-portrait print. Really good.
Back to your future girlfriends. I want to see what the other ones
I
look
am
like.
Not into that
I just really
whatsoever.
want to get into the minds of. She's 5'1", a body fat percentage. I've never had hydrostatic testing done. What the fuck are you talking about? But if I had to guess, I'd say
Holy shit, 3% body fat? That's crazy.
I'm 15% in the off season and 3% at competition time. So you're drastically shifting your weight for competition.
I think fucking
it's
Bruce
one thing
Lee
when
was
men
8.
do that, but women?
I think Bruce Lee was 8% body fat, and that guy was like the leanest man of all time. That's crazy.
I don't even like the Jacob Elordi look so gaunt.
Who's
thin.
Jacob Elordi?
Excuse me?
Oh, the Irish dude.
No. What is wrong?
Who's
what?
Jacob
What?
Elordi?
Who is John, you know, he just happens to be the bit like, I'm sorry.
Well, you didn't know who Frank Frazetta was, so we're even.
Like this is, I mean,
Right? Best artist
it's one
in the
thing to
60s.
not know who Annette Bening is. You know, I will concede a little bit. Like some
I
of
don't-
you,
is
some
he-
of
is he
you,
a twink?
some people are people that don't watch movies and don't, you know, whatever, and maybe have never stumbled upon Annette Bening. But Jacob Elordi is the biggest actor that
Yeah,
is
he's
out
the
there right
Irish
now, and
guy,
he's
right?
losing an insane amount of weight. I couldn't even watch his SNL because I was like, he looks so gaunt, so thin.
He's on coke. Oh, Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis, but the good Elvis, not Austin Butler.
The good Elvis was Kurt Russell in the 70s, but
Sure.
the,
But he's basically the most sought after like hunk in Hollywood. Everyone's obsessed with him.
he looks like a twink, and I have known all.
What
of
are
the
you
twinks.
talking about? No, there's nothing about him that looks like a
You
twink.
just said he weighs like 30 pounds. Why would he
No,
not be a
he's
twink?
also 6'7". That's why he loses 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and you can really see it because he's so tall. Or he's
he's
6'5". Yeah, he's Australian. He is. I really like him actually. I watched his. I hate to say this. I watched his Hot Ones interview, and I was really expecting him to be like annoying, like Sydney Sweeney is, or like you know, whatever other people on that show. And he was surprisingly really articulate and knowledgeable about films, and you know, really like loved Marlon Brando and On the Waterfront, and was like quoted it perfectly, and was really not annoying, and just like really subdued and cool, and kind of like in the way Alexa Demi I think is like the star female from that show, because she's genuinely like a cool seeming person. I'm sorry, if you're gonna be in a show like Euphoria, I'm not gonna only judge you on your acting merits, because truly anybody can kind of do that. I really don't think that the actors in that are like showing the most amazing displays of like thespianism. It's fine, it's good acting, but and Zendaya is amazing in it, whatever, but she's cool too, but like he's just cool, man. He's just cool, but he lost all this weight, and he's like ruining his body for like
Is
a
he doing it for a role?
Yeah,
What's the
it's like
role?
enough of that. Why do people
What's
ruin
the
their
role?
bodies for their art? It's like not. I don't think that's. I don't even know. I don't even know. I probably won't even watch it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just not worth it. Like you are the most in-demand actor, and you're aging yourself drastically by losing dramatic amounts of weight. In the same way that these women, like your weight fluctuating up and down like that, it's not good. Your skin elasticity goes away. things that like you hold near and dear to you, men and women. Like, do you want to go get like bariatric surgery 30 years from now? Or like, what's the one, not bariatric, where they tighten your skin and shit? They have to, that's like real surgery people do. Have you seen My 600 Pound Life?
Dude,
it's very fucked up.
I would like get that if I could.
What?
Dude, I have so much loose skin.
Dude, you should go to the guy, the Persian guy that yells at them. He's so cool. He's like really mean. I love him.
Oh, he's like, you don't need to eat today.
Yeah.
He's like, you have enough food in your body to not eat for 1 year. Yeah. He's like, you can sit and be okay. You will not die.
Yeah, I love him.
He's like, you're fat.
He really tells them like it is. Like,
Dude,
he doesn't hold back. I appreciate that.
Dude, today this fucking woman came into the bar. It was an old Cuban lady, and she was like very nice. And then her daughter-in-law came in, and her daughter-in-law had like, the baby was very cute. It was incredible. It was like a toddler. It was like borderline toddler. It was like, still looked like a cute big baby, but it was running around screaming, and I was playing peekaboo with it, and it would see me and start screaming, and like not in a bad way, but like it was just having such a good time. It was like so overjoyed. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I would like zone out of their conversation and like zone in, but like you can tell this older Cuban lady was getting more and more annoyed with this woman's inability to control her own daughter in a public setting.
Oh,
I was like, yeah, the screaming's too much.
I get
Stop
really upset by it.
And she's like, cállate, cállate.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I hear is, maybe he didn't call you back because he saw your teeth. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. And she did have some fucked up teeth. I was like, that's nuts to say to your daughter.
To say that, yeah.
She's
to your
drunk.
daughter,
She's
yeah.
drunk.
Moms that talk down to their daughters at the same time.
Well, the daughter kind of
moms,
sucks.
Like, if your daughter's like,
the baby spilled milk everywhere, and like the woman literally went, "Can I get a maid over here?" And I went,
bro.
I'm the maid.
How about you go fuck yourself? Yeah. How about you get down on all fours, bitch? You clean it up yourself. I mean, I just don't understand. John, what does this mean? What does this mean? I lift for contractions, not for ego. What? Contractions.
She's lifting for the effect it has on her body. The muscle contractions that tear muscle that make your muscles bigger.
So what do you mean it's not for ego?
She's, instead of ego lifting, which is like what guys do, like to hit like personal records at the gym.
Like to get women.
It's just
you
gym
know, the way
talk.
the world works.
It's just gym talk.
It doesn't even make sense. Fuck that. It's bullshit. Is bodybuilding lucrative? Bodybuilding doesn't pay you. You pay bodybuilding. So it's a scam. It's a complete scam. So with your time, with your money, and your soul, there's no other sport that I'm aware of that demands so much and gives so little in return. So she's admitting
Greco-Roman wrestling,
she's
you
literally
bitch.
saying what I'm saying. So you're cognizantly doing this to yourself.
I am for
how many calories you eat? 2,500 to 3,000 a day.
That's not hard.
Bro.
That's not hard.
Yes, it is, John. For a woman, that's very difficult.
For a 5'2".
And if you're trying to get most of those calories from protein, it's extremely hard.
Christy Hawkins?
And you're trying to keep the fat low, very difficult to do.
Let's see. Bodybuilding, CrossFit, Oakland, 5'4", 440 pounds. I'm sure at 165 pounds she looks just like okay, like normal.
No, nobody at 5'4" looks normal at that weight. I'm sorry, especially if it's all muscle. It actually would look better if it was fat. It would look better if it was fat. Well, what are we? I mean, John, it's like it's just
Jesus Christ.
Your curves are gone, your tits are gone. Any skin elasticity you had is gone. Any indication that you're a woman is gone. And I just don't understand why they do it when it's so bad for you. I mean, she's saying you get so little in return. It's just crazy to me. It's fucking crazy to me. Also, how many hours do you have to spend lifting a day? Literally, your back must be hurting. Like there's parts of your body that are taking hits.
Oh, I mean,
this is more what people are saying is Instagram palatable, right? So I'm seeing a lot of this.
I just don't. If I see one more camel toe, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Like this.
That's what you're focusing on. I mean, it's like, listen, I see this shit. I literally. Why does it matter? What is wrong with camel toe? What is everyone's problem? Why is it weird? What's the issue?
Imagine if you saw the perfect outline of my cock every time I went somewhere. It'd be
I'm
weird.
not complaining when I see pictures of John Hamm. I don't think anyone's complaining.
But I'm not. You want to fuck John Hamm? I don't want to fuck this woman.
I never said that. What a projection, John. You want to fuck John Hamm.
You're gaslighting me. This is crazy.
You gay.
you the gay one. Fool.
I mean, listen, this is the kind of shit though that
she looks scared.
They're putting her on Instagram because a lot of guys like this body type. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with that. This is more normal. It's just kind of you're kind of flirting with the other one, right? You're just kind of flirting with it because it's a lot. No, fam. No, thank you.
That's the best one I've seen.
No, this is the best one we've seen. Okay, that is the best one we've seen. I mean, she's a little leaner, but it's like it's this. It's the traps. I fucking hate trap
super
muscles,
Karen.
bro.
Look at her. She wants to see her manager so badly.
What?
She wants to break your manager.
Manager. She looks like she'll be a restaurant manager in 6 months. Let's just be honest about it. That's what happens when the bodybuilding careers end, right?
Lives in Eureka.
What even is that? Eureka, California.
It's in Humboldt County.
I typically never plan out my workouts. I train mostly by feel. I mean, it's just like crazy to me. This is fucking crazy. Anyways, sorry, I'm not trying to call everyone mentally ill. Like, it just is insane to me.
Where did this come from?
Because one of my friends who's like really beautiful is getting into this world now, and I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, it's not rewarding. You're trying to be in a fitness competition as some sort of like, I don't know, early midlife crisis. Like, you're not even in your 30s yet. Like, why are you dedicating all your time and your resources and your money to something that's so not only like, again, give so little in return, but you're ruining your body in the process. Like, you really are ruining your body. People don't understand, like, your body, like, in the same way that people get, like, on a much smaller scale. I don't have problems with people getting tattoos, but I know I've never wanted one. It's like I don't want ink. I don't want some foreign object in my body. I don't want to do that. Like, my body is not a canvas. It's a temple. Like, I really feel that way. Like, my body is not, body is not something I use to change for, like, even if you were knocking on my door giving me Bridget Jones' Diary, you think I'm going to gain 45 pounds so I can be in a shitty rom-com? Guess again, homie. Like, the price would have to be so fucking high, and I still wouldn't probably do it, because it's like you're literally giving up, like, your body. You're giving your body to something. You're giving it up. You're bye. It's done.
I think athletic women are just like more attractive than that. Like, if I could see
if you're a soccer player, basketball player, much different. Yeah. That's very, very different. Like, this is not a real sport.
The jiu-jitsu chicks, like, it was like,
oh, that's fucking weird too. Dude, what is that? What is that about?
I remember I went to one gym and there's like this purple belt there, and she was like doing nogi, which is like you're wearing like spandex, and I was just like, whoa. And but she was talking about how she used to be like 300 pounds, and she was like so attractive, but like she wasn't 300 pounds anymore. She like lost a bunch of weight, but she was like incredibly athletic and just beating the shit out of guys. And I was like, good for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that like your express goal as a woman should be to like beat up men.
I like facial scars on women. I think that's hot.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's fine to like physical deformities or things that, you know, like.
I like women to look inbred.
Yeah, that we know for sure. You do be loving an Appalachian hoe, and no judgment for that. That's different.
Appalachian hoes that were like the inbred one, but they were the prettiest one that was inbred, and because of that, they're like, their family won't let them out of the house, so they're really pale.
Why? Because they're the best looking.
Because they're the best looking one, and they're like, we can't let her out; she'll be ravaged by the natives.
Or she can fucking really support the family.
I like tall,
based on who she snags out there. You know, unfortunately. I mean, I don't know. There's a Putin interview I guess we should talk about.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I don't know.
I heard he talks about history, Russian history.
Why I listened to 45 minutes of it. I was like, bro, I'm so bored. Honestly, why are you giving us a history lesson
somebody
right now?
asked me, it was like, why don't they want him to interview Putin? I was like, the reason they don't want him to interview Putin is because if we actually interview Putin, it wouldn't be what he's even saying. It would be the fact that, oh, this is what a cognizant world leader sounds like. Someone who could string a sentence together.
I don't know about that, fam.
I think that's dude, the dichotomy between, even though Putin's a fucking thug, the dichotomy between Putin as far as Putin's ability to speak.
Oh, and like Biden? Oh,
yeah,
well, you can't compare it to Biden. You can't compare anybody. I mean, literally.
Well, that's who he's in the ring with right now.
Guess. But, bro, it's just like not even. Did you hear Biden not be able to remember the word Hamas the other day? He could not remember.
Was he saying hummus?
No, it was actually really sad to watch. And then I realized, like, it's not sad. It's sad for us. He's I always have to remind myself that the elder abuse that's happening in the White House is at the American people's expense. Because when you look at it initially, you just feel bad for an old man. Like, it doesn't even register that this is the leader of the free world.
Is he lower than Carter? What's his approval rate? I think
fucking approval rating. I don't know, 0, -10, whatever the weather is in Iceland. Like, it's crazy that this man runs the country. So yeah, by those standards, you know, Putin, who's been, you know, pumped up with a bunch of filler. Yeah, sure.
He's the lowest since President Carter.
Yeah, which, you know, at least President Carter's approval rating dipped because he gave a Christopher Lash speech that was, you know, that really crushed morale for people. But yeah, I mean, this is the gaffe where he literally, I'm just going to show it because Biden Hamas, it's really bizarre that this is happening. Oh, bro, it's just so fucked, man.
This bipartisan agreement also provides Israel with what it needs to protect its people and defend itself against Hamas terrorists. And it will provide the necessary life-saving humanitarian assistance for the Palestinian people.
What needs to get done for the hostage deal to get resolved, sir?
This indirectly has a lot to do with the hostage deal and what's going on in the Middle East. The decision on what we do relative to Israel, the decision what we do in terms of American funding, of whether we're going to engage with the situation in Ukraine.
Old.
And he's had so much botched plastic surgery. We talked about his procedures that he's had done.
It all goes to the
looks
situation in Ukraine.
He's definitely had one side. He looks like Two-Face.
Yeah, it's you look at the before and afters. I mean, it's pretty glaring what he did to his face. He has body dysmorphia for real.
It all goes to the question of American power.
He just keeps saying the opposition because he can't remember.
Does America keep its word? Does America move forward? There is some movement, and I don't want to. Well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement. There's been a response from the
spit it out.
Response from the opposition, but
bro.
Yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas, but it
Why
seems
correct
to
him?
be.
Somebody in the audience had to
hell yeah.
literally say it.
Like Hamas,
what
sir.
There's continuing negotiation.
Thank
right
you,
now.
King.
Mr. President, if this bill fails, would you consider supporting something separate that just addresses Israel or Ukraine?
You have to step down for 2024.
I'm not going to concede
You
that
have
now.
to.
Yeah.
We need it all.
Who are they
The
going to run?
world's looking at us.
It's
the
a
fuck are
great
they gonna
question.
run?
You know, I think this might be the first year in history where they're just like, you know what, we're not even going to spend the resources on like
It's
no
Republican.
one.
The Republicans
it's no
get
one.
it.
Yeah, just how about we give it to you this time, and then you promise us a freebie another
Mayor Pete's
election
like, "Please,
cycle. Yeah.
please."
It's like, promise us that when we get like a really centrist Democrat, the Republicans will just get on board and vote him in the same way we're just going to be like, hey, listen, this year it's a wash. Like we couldn't come up with anyone. Or we'll put like Obama for a third term or some bullshit. Because I don't know. I really don't know.
I heard they're gonna
unless
run
they
Michelle
just put
Obama.
Michelle in there. I think they
run
might,
Michelle.
bro. They might just not last minute just have to scoot her on in there because I don't know who the fuck you run. Who's going to have the political prowess of an Obama to actually be able to stand up to a massive figure like Trump? And in fact, I don't know that Michelle could ever defeat Trump. So they probably wouldn't do that because maybe they do want to run her one day, and this would not be the right election cycle
All Trump has
to do so.
do is call her
think.
Michael once, and then that's it.
Oh my god, I don't even care about the whole Michelle's woman. It's like it's so boring. It's so boring. Like, what is like wrong with the people that like it's so? Aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you bored?
No.
You know, the people just racistly calling her a man. It actually annoys me. I'm just like, it's just blatant racism. You're just a racist person. Sorry. There's a lot of people who probably are. And also it's like, why do you care if he's gay? What is that? Why don't we focus on the policies here of like what they're putting
I don't want
out
no
there?
gay man fucking running my country.
Well, you got one right now, fam. What are you going to do about it?
Joe?
Well, you know, I guess
He's a
not.
pedophile. It's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. I mean, it really makes you, I mean, can we play any of the Putin highlights?
Can we not play any of the interview?
I don't know that we can. I wonder. And if not, maybe we can get away with just playing the audio. Putin Tucker highlights. I just imagine maybe if I just go to Twitter and put in some of the highlights from Twitter, maybe they'll let us get away with it. I still haven't updated the app on my phone to Twitter or to X. It's still Twitter. Tucker. 2 hours, bro.
Interview with the president of Russia, Vladimir.
I want to see like the highlights. He did talk about Nord Stream. That was kind of a funny moment.
Like, who did it?
Yeah, it's like you guys.
Did you
bro.
do it? And he's like, nah. Yeah, the Navy SEALs did it.
I mean, the CIA did it. Yeah, it's.
I was listening to a Sean Ryan interview. Shout out Sean Ryan. Yeah, dude, you can like. There's like people who specialize in blowing up pipelines.
Yeah, it's called the CIA.
Yeah,
it's called fucking covert ops. It's called fucking we do what
The
we
following
want.
is an interview
No,
with the
bro,
president.
No, give me the highlights. I was watching the highlights.
we gotta play that shit. Yeah.
The question is what comes next, and maybe you trade one colonial power for another, much less
Full screen that bitch.
sentimental and forgiving colonial power. I mean, is the BRICS, for example, in danger of being completely
Love is
dominated
tied.
by the Chinese economy in a way that's not good for their sovereignty?
What?
Do you worry about that?
It's like the Adam Friedland show. He's just like,
We have heard those
I don't know.
boogeyman stories before. It is a boogeyman story. We're neighbors
Is he
with
going to
China.
Baba Yaga, the John
You
Wick?
cannot choose neighbors just as you cannot choose close relatives. We share a border of 1,000 kilometers with them. This is number one. Second, We have a
His face,
centuries-long
Tucker's
history
face.
of coexistence. We're used to it. Third, China's foreign policy philosophy is not aggressive. Its idea is to always look for compromise,
Not yet,
and we
anyway.
can see that. The next point is as follows. We are always told the same boogeyman story,
Stop
and
saying
here
that
it
word.
goes again.
I like when he says boogie.
Through an
Boogie.
euphemistic form, but it is still the same boogeyman story. The cooperation with China keeps increasing. The pace at which China's cooperation with Europe is growing is higher and greater than that of the growth of Chinese-Russian cooperation. Ask Europeans,
Did he
aren't
tell
they
you to say
afraid?
that?
They might
I
be,
think so.
I don't know. But they are still trying to access China's market at all costs, especially now that they are facing economic problems.
How much bigger is their economy than ours?
Chinese businesses are also
realistically?
exploring
I
the
don't know.
European market.
Probably a lot bigger.
Do Chinese businesses have small presence in the United
Somebody
States?
spurg out and let me know in the comments, because he did make some claims here that it's so much more expansive and bustling than our economy, to the point where it's just like our defeat is, I don't know if it's inevitable.
Yes,
he didn't
the
really say
political
that.
decisions
they're
are
like
such that they are trying to limit their cooperation with China.
Just through money.
It is to your own detriment, Mr. Tucker, that you are limiting
Mr.
cooperation
Tucker?
with China.
Mr.
You are
Tucker?
hurting yourself. It is a delicate matter, and there are no silver bullet solutions, just as it is with the dollar.
And with the werewolf. You cannot kill the
So,
werewolf
before
without silver
introducing
bullet,
any
Tucker.
illegitimate sanctions, illegitimate in terms of the Charter of the United Nations, one should think very carefully. For decision makers, this appears to be a problem.
He goes, okay.
So you said a moment ago that the world would be a lot better if it weren't broken into competing alliances, if there was cooperation globally. One of the reasons you don't have that is because the current American administration is dead set against you. Do you think if there were a new administration after Joe Biden that you would
Trump.
be able to reestablish communication with the U.S. government? Or does it not matter who the president is?
Of course it matters. Of course it fucking matters.
Чтобы закончить предыдущий вопрос.
You know that,
I
Ted.
will tell you. But let me finish the previous thought. We, together with my colleague and friend, President Xi Jinping, set a goal to reach $200 billion of mutual trade with China this year. We have exceeded this level. According to our figures, our bilateral trade with China totals already $230 billion, and the Chinese statistics says it is $240 billion. One more important thing. Our trade is well balanced, mutually complementary in high-tech, energy, scientific research and development. It is very balanced.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of boring.
I mean, they're all bullshitting through. I mean, it's interesting to
let's
me.
be honest, like the questions you really want to ask, it's like I'm sure there's some sort of. I'm sure he asked about like what his long-term plan was with Ukraine, and of course there's gonna be highlights and blah blah blah. My whole thing is like, you can't get mad at Tucker for doing the interview.
Play another quick highlight.
Yeah, I want to do like a better one.
It's like a quick one.
Oh wait, no, this is just Tucker talking.
Tucker's like, I can't get Zins here. Do the 30-second one or the
Where is it? This one?
any of those.
Characterization of what you said?
Я понимаю, что поскольку мои длинные диалоги,
This kinda rocks.
они
I understand that my long speeches probably fall outside of the genre of the interview. That is why I asked you at the beginning, are we going to have a serious talk or a show?
так что не обижайтесь
You
на
said
меня,
a serious talk.
так вот.
So bear with me,
подошли
please.
к тому моменту, когда
We're coming to the point
Tucker's
where
like,
the
"You're so
Soviet
charming."
Ukraine was established.
I mean, if he really wanted to fuck with us, he'd just do the interview in English.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically,
With the
Zelensky should
backing
have
of
an interpreter
CIA,
because
of
he's so
course.
difficult to listen
The
to.
organization you
Accent's too
wanted
harsh.
to join back in the day, as I understand.
Which one? What did he say?
The CIA.
We should thank God they didn't let you in. Although
Tucker?
it is a serious organization. I understand.
Tucker wanted to join
My
the CIA.
former
Yeah, I bet he did.
With the
dude.
back-
He's a fucking.
It's just
yes,
weird
of
that
course.
Putin would say that. I mean, yeah, maybe
Putin
in his
probably
very
knows.
early.
He was a KGB agent. It's kind of ironic they saying that.
The Canadian Parliament introduced a man
I saw
who,
this,
as
yeah.
the Speaker of the Parliament said, fought against the Russians during the World War II.
Oh yeah, this is hilarious.
Well, who fought against the Russians during the World War II? Hitler and his accomplices. It turned out that this man served in the SS troops. He personally killed Russians, Poles, and Jews. The SS troops consisted of Ukrainian nationalists who did this dirty work. The president of Ukraine stood up with the entire Parliament of Canada and applauded this man. How can this be imagined? The president of Ukraine himself, by the way, is a Jew. The Canadian Parliament...
He's just red pilling it, hundreds of millions of people.
I mean, I got probably, because this interview came out just like a few hours ago, so
yeah.
I probably got like 45 minutes in.
Have you seen that video?
Tepidly listening towards the end, huh?
Have you seen the video of the Canadian Parliament? It's so funny.
No.
They all applaud a Nazi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
I
great.
mean, you know, it is what it is.
They're like, this freedom fighter fought against Russians in World War II in the Ukraine, and they're like, everybody's like, yeah, and nobody's like, wait.
Well, it's just like we just literally forget about Canada. Like they can get away with doing that because ain't nobody paying attention to what's happening over there.
I was actually watching a documentary.
No offense, I love my Canadian followers.
Reading accounts of Canadian war crimes in World War II, which is kind of crazy.
My whole thing with Canada is everyone knows my obsession. Like I'm a Fidel Castro, Trudeau truther. I'm positive with every fiber of my being that Justin Trudeau is the son biologically of Fidel Castro. The timelines match up. So I've watched a lot of Canadian political videos about like Pierre Trudeau's reign and specifically his relationship and Margaret Trudeau's relationship with Cuba and the way that they were allies even when the U.S. didn't have a great relationship with Cuba and a lot of the goings on of the time and how kind of like the swinging aspect of Fidel Castro and the voracious sexual appetite of both Fidel Castro, Margaret Trudeau, and ostensibly Pierre Trudeau, unless he's like the cuck that watches, which I don't think is true, but could be. How those sexual swinging dynamics between them influenced the allyship of both Canada and Cuba, you know, just as it relates to their foreign policy at the time was fascinating, especially because of the fact that obviously the U.S. and Canada have a very close relationship. And so then for the U.S. to have whatever. So I was very interested in that. I want to talk about something though that I had like one of the coolest days of my life recently. Fuck this. I don't care. You know, I did all the political shit here in the first fucking 15 episodes. So if you really care about my political opinions and my thoughts on NATO, like go to the very beginning of this podcast and that's what we talk about. I fucking met Matthew Weiner, the creator of Mad Men. I saw David Chase, Terence Winter, and Matthew Weiner in person, and I didn't bring one of my like 50 Sopranos books to get David Chase to sign, and I didn't want to bother him, so I didn't go up and meet him. But the fact that I had the opportunity to, and I floundered it.
What'd you do?
I floundered to make it all about me and meet my hero, and I didn't meet him. But just hearing him talk and being able to, I didn't know Matthew Weiner was going to show up, the creator of Mad Men. Terence Winter created Boardwalk Empire. Obviously, Matthew Weiner, Terence Winter both got their starts working on The Sopranos. I think Terence Winter, like in the earlier seasons, season 2 or so, maybe even earlier, and then Matthew Weiner, season 5 joined. But then, you know, obviously they learned everything they knew about television, probably, I imagine, from, I mean, I guess Matthew Weiner worked in television before that, but I imagine the biggest chunk of what they took away from, you know, that they brought to the table with their own shows is from The Sopranos. And it was just like one of the coolest things. Dude, I fucking met Richie Aprile, David Preval, the actor Richie Aprile. I hung out with him like all night. I helped him get a taxi. Devin too, like we helped him. It just sucks to even see Sopranos. You can't connect with me on this, but
I'm about to check out
an hour. Well, yeah, check out whatever. The people listening to this have probably seen it and will appreciate the fact that I spent so much money to go to this thing.
How much you spend?
Well, I became a member of Cinematheque, which I've been meaning to do for a while because they have just like the most incredible Q&As.
I like Cinematheque.
And I have kind of raged about the lack of like movie respect in this town and the way that some of the greatest theaters here just either are closed half the year or they don't have stadium seating or they're not showing, you know, screenings that you want to see, but they're showing screenings of the worst movies of all time. Yeah. So that gets on my nerve. But American Cinematheque is one of the last like bastions of hope, you know, when it comes to screenings and getting to go to like cool, like vintage, you know, screenings of some of your old favorite films that they'll put on a big screen for you. They host Q&As all the time at the Egyptian. They had Martin Scorsese there recently. Leonardo DiCaprio was there. They interviewed David Fincher. I was so pissed I didn't go to that one. There's just like so much cool shit they do. And then when I saw that they were having David Chase and Terence Winter do a live Q&A, I saw that on their Instagram. They also respond to me in the DMs so quickly. I fucking love them for that. Mm-hmm. And I saw that and I was like, okay, I have to just bite the bullet and become a member. And you have to pay like, I don't know, I didn't spend that much money, but I spent like $80 or $85 to become a member. And then then I had to wait in line to get the tickets as soon as they went on sale. And I was so lucky that I got them. The tickets were only $25. So I only, so the membership was what I spent the money on. But like, so I didn't spend that much. I spent way more than Devin did. But like, it's so worth it to get to hear like the greatest fucking people in the entire medium of television opine on every single part of that not every single part obviously, but like just the overall process. Is the 25th anniversary of The Sopranos. It's crazy that they were there. I mean, David Chase didn't even create The Sopranos till he was in his 60s, and here he is giving just, you know, eloquent answers, talking to the audience, like taking questions from the fucking audience, bro. It was crazy. Terence Winter was so cool too, and like I got to talk to Matthew Weiner and tell him like how much Mad Men meant to me. It just was like one of the coolest nights of my life. Like shit like that actually really just makes me, it restores all of like anything that bothers me about LA. I always come back to
Q&A's kick ass, dude.
It's the most cool fucking thing, and people are like, it's pretentious bullshit. No, it's not. If you like the medium and you enjoy the art of it, and you can sit still and like watch something and take it in and seeing the fucking Sopranos on the big screen was, except there were these fucking fat meatballs right in front of me, dude, who, as David Chase was talking, were sending each other memes about The Sopranos. I wanted to kill them. And then some fucking fat bitch behind me eating like Funyuns or something.
Oh, yeah. The
like, here's David Chase talking about keeping it wide, and you're crinkling a potato chip bag behind me, you disrespectful scumbag. I mean, it's just like, how could you even think about eating? Like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You paid the money to come here to fucking disrespect greatness. It drives me crazy. It really drives me crazy, the disrespect that people have for like just the greatest of all time. Like,
well, it's funny because like it's just those people, they were just ones who decided to bite the bullet and be like, I'll spend $25. I like Sopranos,
so I can send memes. It's like, what did you think he was gonna do? Sit there and do like a gabagool impression? No, he's gonna talk about the art of what he did. Like the art of what he did that you will never at 15 lifetimes hold just an iota of the talent that he has in his pinky. And you're going to disrespect him and send fucking memes to each other, probably about Polly. You always know the Polly fans are the retards. It's like, oh, you're a dumb person. I love Polly Walnut's amazing character, but it's like you always can tell what kind of Sopranos fan, like, oh, you're that guy. Oh, you want to talk about the ending for 5 hours, you idiot, you fucking freak. I hate that.
I saw Chivo speak.
Oh, you saw Chivo speak?
Yeah, for
That's
the
huge.
20th Century Fox screening of The Revenant in 70mm.
That's fucking sick, dude. From Cinematheque?
No, it was at the theater I worked at. So it was SAG only. Well, no, it was actually it was for 20th Century Fox employees. And they went there. It was for the people like, and then it was like Chivo spoke, and then they did a Q&A just for people in Fox.
Wow.
And
that's fucking
cool. The coolest thing about it was they had there's the projectionist union in Los Angeles is maybe like
I love that.
It's probably like a couple hundred people. Maybe it's a very small union, but like they had this dude who was 20th Century Fox's lead projectionist for the past like 60 years.
Wow.
And he was in his 80s, and I went up into the projection studio with him, and he just explained to me what he was doing. And it was he was this old man. The funniest part about him is he came in. I had this employee, I had the coworker, my boss at the time she was an attractive young lady, and he came in there and he was like in his like 80s, and he goes to her, goes, "You got nice gams." Anyways, where's the projection? It's his legs. It's just means legs. And he goes, "Where's the projection studio?" And like, he go out there, and he was like, "Back in my day, you know, they used to, if those things caught on fire, you had 30 seconds to leave."
What did
the projection booth?
Oh, otherwise you're dead. You're toast.
They catch on fire, and they would have these cages that would slam around them because there was so much. The film is so highly flammable, it would explode, and like the whole theater would catch on fire, and people were dying in these massive theater fires. So they invented this thing that basically was like, if this thing catches on fire, you have 30 seconds. The mass
shooting of yesteryear.
You have to crawl out of a hole in 30 seconds, or you're dead, or it's locking you in.
Fam. I love movies, but not that much. That's crazy. Yeah, cool, I don't want to die.
But the coolest thing was we had, before the employees showed up, we had so they always send a backup. So just in case the film fails, they always send a 4K backup projection, or a 4K backup version of it. So like, we had the 70mm film reel, which by the way is like the size of this table. Yeah. And then we had the backup 4K hard drive, which is time coded to a certain time. Yeah. You cannot unlock that and watch it unless it's a certain time. And our projectionist for our theater chain, we only had one. His name was Charlie. Him, the 20th Century Fox projectionist, my boss, and me, we were just hanging out, and Charlie was like, "Let's give this guy a test." Yeah. And it was like, "Can you tell the difference between a 70mm projection and a 4K projection?" None of us can. No one can.
Yeah,
no one can.
People will act like they can.
People act like they can, but they can't. No, you can't. This dude could. It was badass.
I mean, yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Chivo is like fucking the most.
Not Chivo, the projectionist.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Chivo
Imagine
showed
if
up
Chivo
at the
couldn't
end.
tell.
Dude, no, I bet you Chivo can't tell.
Of
I
course.
saw,
You don't think he can?
You know, Brian saw Chivo at the Broad.
At what?
The Broad.
What's the Broad?
The museum downtown.
I've never even heard of that. What is that?
It's a really great museum. It's free.
I haven't gone to museums. I've never even been
I
to the
love
fucking
museums.
LACMA, bro.
Go to the Getty. The Getty kicks ass.
I really want to go to the Getty.
I love historical stuff.
I too like history, John. We're so history coded.
We're history coded.
We're so smart. We listened to Putin and got nothing out of it.
Yeah, he's just rambling. It's
just like going on and on. It's like this bro doesn't know shit about podcasting, bro. You got to be entertaining.
Honestly, I want to hear him talk about chocolate chip.
It's like Putin is a podcaster. Putin the
So what's your
podcast.
favorite ice cream Putin.
Podcaster Putin is failing us. He's failing, and really the main character in this whole thing is like the overdone cheek filler on his face that I just can't even I can't get away from. He looks like he kind of looks like Biden, low key.
Looks like a cat.
Like low key, yeah, he looks like a cat.
Looks like a cat. Putin looks like a cat who's just firing surface air missiles into his best friend's private planes. Well, the thing is I just want to be like Putin. You know, all these guys, like, yeah, they you know.
Can I show you my favorite Putin video?
Yeah, they.
You already know. You've seen
these
that.
dictators. These people, they're born from nothing, and they go to being world leaders. And I think you have to be a narcissist to be a world leader. But sometimes, but sadly, I think you either have to be a narcissist or a complete fucking kiss ass.
To be
Keep a political fucking pussy. There's two types of people who are world leaders: absolute fucking Ivy League political fucking pussies, or utter nepo babies, or utter narcissists. And the problem is usually
always the narcissism is usually the undercurrent through all of those prototypes.
I don't think Carter was a narcissist.
No, he might have been the only one that was a regular person.
I don't think
him, FDR, and
I think FDR might have been a narcissist. I've been listening.
Maybe, but he's the kind that we needed.
But the funny thing is, I thought you said FDR wasn't a narcissist.
No, I don't think he was. But if he was a narcissist, what it did was serve the greater good, which is if you are
he was Supreme Allied Commander in World War II, right?
The what?
FDR.
Supreme Allied Commander?
Allied Commander in World War II, right?
I mean, he was a commander-in-chief of the
Commander-in-chief.
United States Armed Forces. So
seeing how that guy dealt with the generals on the ground, it's bad. It's hilarious. The way he was like pimping out, who was the fucking British leader? Anyways, I'm reading all of his correspondence.
Winston Churchill at the time?
Not Winston Churchill, the leader, the general. He had a Macintosh or something, but then Patton on the ground, and then you had this other guy, and it was like, you know, he would just fire you.
Yeah,
he would just fire your ass and be like, "You're
FDR."
FDR would be like,
yeah,
he's Supreme Allied Commander. He'd be like,
he was like Trump. You're fired.
He could fire British generals, which is crazy. The American president was capable of firing British generals.
Have you ever seen The Darkest Hour, starring oh my God, why is his name escaping me?
About Winston Churchill?
Yeah, fucking G starts with a G.
I don't know. Johnny Depp.
No, bro, it's like
plays Winston Churchill.
The Darkest Hour. It's a very, very good movie. Why is his name escaping? He's like a massive. I love him. Gary Oldman. Yeah. Oh my God,
Oldman.
bro,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Have you seen The Darkest Hour?
No, I think
it's
Winston Churchill was a
fantastic movie.
I'm gonna be honest with you though, like,
are you gonna keep it real about Winston Churchill?
I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. The British performance in the European theater, I don't blame them because they were a completely demoralized country by the time we got involved with D-Day and stuff. But the performance of British soldiers and British generals was like to the point where it was borderline cowardly at some points.
Cowardly in what way?
They wouldn't like, not cowardly. Everyone there was incredibly.
You mean
brave.
about
everyone there was so
their
incredibly
unwillingness
brave.
to like
their unwillingness
surge
to push.
into Dunkirk and
yeah,
shit.
their unwillingness to go, and like that was something that like
Well,
Patton always complained about. He was like, if I was in charge of this guy's troops, we'd be at the Rhine by now. And it's like you had these. I read this really great account of this American soldier coming across British soldiers who. There are British men trapped in Arnhem, and this American soldier comes across these British machine gunners, and it's like 6 p.m. and they're having tea, and he's like, "Hey, 4 miles that way, your guys are getting killed right now. It's fucking go time."
I know, but
We're
you
not
can't
sitting here having
characterize
tea.
all of these European
like,
soldiers as just being lazy
well, it's
motherfuckers.
something
I
that
mean,
keeps-
they were getting slaughtered.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's a completely demoralized country. Thing with France is the primary.
It
victim
was
of,
until Churchill stepped in. I mean, he's such a polarizing figure.
I'm talking
for so
about
many
on the
reasons.
ground, indeed. Like after in Normandy, like there's something I keep coming across reading these books, and it's like just kind of this stalling you would get from like the British and like But no, everyone there
well,
was
you mean during the very beginning of World War II,
no,
right?
during the end of it. So when they got pushed out of Dunkirk, they got pushed back to England, and then all of us invaded Normandy together, and then we pushed the Nazis out of France.
But that's because of Winston Churchill.
It's because of a lot of people, but it's not.
But
just
it's kind of because he was a large part of how the British survived that. I mean using the civilian boats and there's a huge.
Well, you're confusing Dunkirk with D-Day.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
D-Day wouldn't have been possible.
Dunkirk was very risky, though. Dunkirk was incredibly risky.
Using a merchant fleet to rescue soldiers is crazy.
It's insane that it worked. Like, it's insane that it didn't work for the soldiers. Obviously, horrific. But overall, like big picture, we defeated the greatest evil. That we'd had never known at the time. The German,
there's one of the part of this book is we were attacking castles that were built in like the 1700s that we were like laying siege to with German soldiers inside. Isn't that weird?
Say that again.
We're doing siege warfare against Nazis. Neville Chamberlain was a bitch.
So that's what I was going to say. So Neville Chamberlain, who preceded Winston Churchill as prime minister at the time and was obviously ousted, and had cancer too, I think, at the time.
He was the great.
It's funny because you want in so many ways you look at a figure like that and you're like, well, in so many ways you're so much more level-headed, rational than somebody like Winston Churchill. But ultimately, in this one very, very important moment, you kind of failed. Like, you kind of failed to. There are times for peace and there are times for war. This was a time for fucking war. Like, this was a time for war. And
Montgomery
don't like general. Winston Churchill. Like, I'm fully aware of his moral failures,
especially his failures, ethical as an officer failures.
Failures across the board in so many ways. But like they said so aptly in the film, even a broken clock is right twice a day, referring very much to Winston Churchill. But they were even trying to discount that he was right about this one particular instance. But it also speaks to the power of just like what an amazing orator can do for the morale of a country, and what happens when you have somebody as a leader that people can actually rally behind. And in that moment, people wanted to fight for the freedom of the Western world. Like, they wanted to save Europe. They wanted to save, the Jews. Like,
nobody knew about the Jews till we got there.
But
they knew. I think they probably
knew.
I think they knew,
bro.
I think
there wasn't Twitter, but
I think the
upper echelon.
I think the upper echelon of intelligence knew something was happening.
Of course, certainly we did hear the OSS was very aware, because this is before the CIA, I think.
Yeah.
But
they actually put film cameras on like remote controlled gliders and have footage of concentration camps. They're flying over them, almost like a drone in World War II.
Oh, by the way, speaking of World War II Nazi shit, did you watch Zone of Interest?
No. What is Zone of Interest?
I wonder if we can play the trailer. We can play trailers.
You should
right?
be able to play trailers.
Yeah, why not? It's a trailer. I'm advertising for you folks. Like, what do you mean I can't play?
I'm spurging out over the United States need for Labor Party and World War II. That's what I'm spurging out right now.
A United States need for Labor Party.
That's the two books I'm reading. I'm reading Dirtbag and fucking
Hell yeah.
Citizen Soldier. Here.
824. I watched this at Quentin Tarantino Theater, the Vista, when it reopened. It was an interesting viewing. I thought it could be better as a film. Like, it was. I think it was really trying to portray the banality of evil kind of trope, which I thought it somewhat did well, but kind of failed a little towards the end, in my opinion, and didn't. You almost quasi see the Nazis and Rudolf Haas kind of grappling with the moral, like, there's a part where he like projectile vomits, and you almost see the mom kind of grappling with, hearing the screams in the background. And there are moments of, some abstract artistry throughout the film, but overall I thought it missed the mark in terms of getting anywhere real towards the end with it, which I'm not saying you have to show us the gas chambers, but it just kind of alluded to them grappling with the horrors of what was happening, which I think was kind of almost gave them a cop-out. Like, I'm sure they were slightly more aware. The banality of evil is very real. Love Sam Rockwell.
I mean, I don't know if I can say
did I not even show the trailer on the thing? I didn't. Whatever. Fucking look it up.
Here's the thing is, well, now we know we won't get flagged. The thing is, thing that, and this goes back to the Putin interview and the Canadian Parliament letting a fucking Ukrainian Nazi stand up and get applause is the vast majority of, I think we really have this massive emphasis on concentration camps. We have an immense emphasis on concentration
So overrated.
No, it's not overrated. It's the fact that is we almost hyper focus on the concentration camps and we completely disregard the millions of people that were killed in places like the Ukraine, in the woods, or places like Lithuania or Romania.
You mean just from war?
No, the Nazis eliminating Jews in places
well,
like
that's actual war, though. That's just combat. That's right.
No, they were not.
Oh, you mean civilians? You mean civilians? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I don't know that anyone's ignoring that. I mean, it's pretty talked about.
But it's like over. You have this A24 film with the banality of evil, but like you have films like Come and See.
It's just the perverse nature of what they were doing is so much more than pillaging a civilian's home, because that has happened forever. People have always pillaged civilians' homes like forever. Look at the Native American and the Civil War and always we do it to each other.
For every sterile banality of evil,
not that it's good.
For every sterile banality there are 30 sterile banality of evil fucking movies about the Holocaust as opposed to for every one Come and See film, which is about the actual like brutal, intense violence that was committed against Jews on the Eastern Front or in places that we didn't really think about.
What film is that?
The Come and See it was made in the 70s, and it's about a Belarusian fucking partisan and fighting against Nazis, but he's like 13 years old, and it's just a brutal fucking movie. And it's like, there's like it's just sad that like, and then we have this like kind of like.
I don't have a problem with not showing the brutality. I'm one of the more controversial ones where like in Oppenheimer, I didn't mind so much. I wish they showed a little bit of the aftermath of the bomb. Like, I don't need to see it all, right?
No,
like,
I agree
be tactful and be tasteful with what you do choose to show. Nobody wants to see a Japanese person burnt to a crisp. Nobody wants to see, a Jew in a chamber. Nobody wants to see these like horrific acts of just complete moral failures. Like, but you gotta show us a little something. I think you gotta give us a little bit, because it's like, what the fuck is the movie about? Otherwise, you're doing like a Sofia Coppola, Marie Antoinette movie, but you're not doing it as artistically as she did. She did it beautifully. Like, she did that the banality of evil in a different way, because she was never really speaking to the banality of evil of somebody like a figure of like Rudolf Haas, who was
Hess.
Mr. Auschwitz. No, Haas.
Is it Haas or Hess?
Yeah, Haas.
I thought it was H-E-S-S.
No, H-O-S-S. Yeah.
What the fuck am I thinking about?
But what Sofia Coppola does so well about portraying the banality of evil is it's not so much evil that she's portraying.
It's Rudolf Hess.
It's no.
It's Rudolf Hess.
It's Rudolf Haas.
It's H-E-S-S.
In the whole movie, they're like Haas.
Oh, it's because they're probably fucking German.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I thought I looked it up.
We're in America, right? You want to go back to Germany?
Sorry.
Okay, we're both right. We're both right.
Okay, skirt John's right. Skirt on me.
No, actually, Ida's doing the pronunciation correctly.
I'm just going based off of, I'm imitating them, okay? But what I love about Sofia Coppola movies like Marie Antoinette is like, she was just an accessory to the evils that were being committed. She was 14 years old. Sophia, I mean, she was literally 14 years old. They fucking chopped her head off. I read her diary when I was like in the fourth grade, and it was actually pretty brutal, like as a fourth grader to read. And I remember just like feeling a deep kinship with her. It's different when you're reading someone's diary. Like, you really do connect to them as a human being, even if they might be despicable in other ways. Like, you're just like, I'm literally reading your internal monologue right now. So there's something very intimate about that. And, there were some interesting things in it, but ultimately she was a victim of all this bullshit too. She got her fucking head chopped off for being married to a rich dude and like eating well. Yeah. That's shitty. It's shitty for anybody, Like, some women, who are like gold digging leeches, like deserve it, but she was not that. She was a 14-year-old that was inserted into a situation that she did not ask to be a part of, had no idea what was going on around her, and was ultimately killed. And, the whole let them eat cake shit was fake. First of all, everyone knows that too. But like, what I love about Sofia Coppola is her ability to really understand and convey accurately, I think, what the female experience is, and specifically from her, she uses the nepotism that she was given, and what she does is she actually is able to create a really unique perspective in a palatable way in films. And she does this consistently. Like, there's some movies of hers obviously that I don't like, but the ones of hers that I really do like, she had a more, I think, cerebral experience with her parents' success, because it wasn't just her parents were anybody. Her dad created the greatest film of all time, arguably The Godfather 1 and 2. And I'm sure that has to be heavy for you to deal with. And so what she did with that wasn't become a boring shill and get success that nobody respects like so many other people. She actually created like really, really good works of art and, you know, married Spike Jonze, who did the same thing. But I don't know. I just felt Zone of Interest, it was kind of lacking. No films are really grabbing me. I really want to see Anatomy of a Fall by Justine. She's like this cool French woman who gave like a really good Oscar speech. I really want to see that. Oh, dude, Grammys were so boring. Did you catch any of that?
No.
So boring.
I think
they didn't give Karol G, Maluma, fucking like none of the Latin artists got shit. What a joke, bro.
Well, we haven't seen a good movie in a while, but I think like if you're going to portray violence in a film, you have almost a moral obligation, if you choose to do it as realistically as possible.
I don't know.
No. Listen to me. Now, you can do that tastefully.
What about people
And
like me,
oftentimes-
though?
Huh?
What about people like me?
Well, I mean,
I don't like that.
watch The Departed, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
gets
that's
shot in the head
necessary.
at the-
That's
no,
necessary.
But that's not how it looks when people get shot in the head. There's not like what is this blood pressure
I like
at
the way it
5,000
looked.
psi? Like it's crazy. So like if you
What does it actually look like?
it looks like a puff of smoke and a guy drops. It looks like the Bud Dwyer film is you drop to the ground and blood starts coming out of your nose. That's what it looks like. And oftentimes it's more shocking is like, you know, but like unless he's getting shot in the head with like a shotgun or something. But you know, I think there's a
So everything should be like Saving Private Ryan. We got to see bloods, guts, and fucking
no,
like
because
we have to be traumatized.
Even films like Fury are ridiculous. There's some scenes in Fury. The most shocking death in Fury is when a guy gets hit with a fucking tank shell and he just disappears. There's like zero. He just disappears. It's like something out of Animaniacs. That's what happens if you get shot with a tank shell. You just disappear.
I don't know that everyone's thinking about the continuity of like the shelling and like the bloods. And
Well,
the guts.
I'm just using that as examples. But I'm saying like if you're on a that's it on a you know a micro level. But like if you're looking at a macro level, like if you're going to talk about something like the Holocaust, I think the best Holocaust film is probably The Pianist. And like I
was gonna say I agree with that.
the gun and everything.
I
in
haven't
The
seen
Pianist,
Schindler's List, but I'm not a big Spielberg fan, so I imagine I won't love it.
God, it was sad. And I was actually watching a Holocaust film with Ben Foster.
Oh.
And nobody remembers it, and it was fucking intense. I had to turn it off. And it was it's a true story about a man who was a famous Jewish boxer that was in a fucking concentration camp, and the Nazi guards would make him box dudes to death.
Jesus.
They would make him box dudes to death, and if he didn't win the fight, they'd shoot him. And he moved to New Jersey and tried to just get over that.
Oh my
He had to
God.
kill other Jews with his hands, and it was like that's nuts.
Are you related to this person?
No, the Nazis.
No, I don't know. The guy,
Jewish guy?
the guy beating up the Jewish people.
No, but I think my great grandmother was Jewish. I might be. I don't know.
I mean, I just want someone to come out with a good Holocaust movie. Is that so much to ask for? Can we just get a good one? If you're gonna do like so many,
I think it exists, and it's just The Pianist. You just watch.
it does. Yeah, it is The Pianist.
The Pianist
Pianist
is the best.
so intense, bro.
Pianist is wonderful.
Pianist?
It's tragic. It's
Definitely.
amazing. Adrian Brody gives one of the best performances I've ever
Incredible.
seen. Someone just be so broken.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, do you know I watched the? Have you ever seen Dick Van Dyke, the Dick Van Dyke Show?
No, but I have a good joke about Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, what is it?
So this guy goes to Walt Disney, and he's like, listen, he gives this amazing audition.
Yeah.
And he's like juggling, he's doing all this crazy shit, he's telling these jokes, he's just so multi-talented. And they go, listen, kid, we love you, what's your name? And he goes, my name's Penis Von Lesbian. And they go, what? You got to change your name. And he comes back a week later, go, did you change your name? He goes, yeah, it's Dick Van Dyke.
That's awesome. Oh, I never realized. Damn, bro, how stupid am I? It didn't even occur to me that Dick Van Dyke is like,
It's a crazy name. Oh, it's
Dick
like it's
Van
like, it's like
Dyke?
Dutch, isn't it? Yeah.
bro, I literally never even made the connection. It's like
Yeah.
penis lesbian. Holy shit.
Yeah,
well, it's a great show. It's actually really meta, created by Carl Reiner, about guys in a comedy room like writing jokes for a comedy show
Interesting.
in the 50s, and they had like they had a woman named what's her face, Rose Marie, who's like an incredibly talented like slapstick vaudevillian like comedic actress at the time, known as Baby Rose Marie when she was a little kid. Incredible voice, such a huge talent. And then I'm like, how is this show? I accidentally I sat on my remote, as I always do, and it clicked on something called Film Rise. You ever hear of Film Rise? It's kind of like a Pluto and a Tubi, but very different in terms of like the way the layout looks. And it just started playing Dick Van Dyke. I just like sat on it and started playing it. It was the very first episode, and you have Mary Tyler Moore playing the wife, and I just watched it and I was like, this is like very good compared to the shit you see now. It was very good. Like the family
great
dynamic.
TVs, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't like
Great
the
TVs.
They had
Great
funny
TV shows.
jokes in there, dude. Like they actually had funny jokes in there. They were using like words that we use now.
Yeah.
I was like, this is incredibly digestible, incredibly palatable. You can't get a single good sitcom now. It does not exist. Like the format is just like dead and gone. And
I was
any
watching a
NBC exec
movie.
that thinks they're gonna sell that, you're fucking stupid.
I rented this. I go to the library and get DVDs now because I got a TV DVD.
That's right. It
player
actually
combo.
looks
It
pretty
kicks ass.
sick.
It's hard to watch. Like it's so small.
I
but
did want to do a bitchy thing and send you like a really cheap one that I saw on the Facebook Marketplace and just like show you that like if you
I would
waited,
love
you
that
could
'cause
have
then
gotten
I'd
a better
have two.
deal.
If I'd love
He's
that 'cause
gonna
then I'd
buy
have two.
another. It was like $30 RCA with the remote.
I got a DVD at the library and it was a double feature. In the first movie, it was Last Man on Earth, or is it? Yeah, The Last Man on Earth with it's good fucking it's Vincent Price, and the second movie was a movie I think it's called like 0 Hour or something.
Oh God,
and it's a post-apocalyptic film about a family dealing with the aftermath of a nuclear strike in the United States. It was made in the 1950s.
Shit.
It's like Walking Dead, but in the 1950s.
Holy
and like it opens
shit.
up with this family, and they got a like a camper van, and they're driving out of LA, and they turn around, and they see a mushroom cloud over Los Angeles, and the wife's like, maybe they're just testing. The guy's like, no, honey, they're not. We got to go. And the dad's like, really like, there's a daughter, a son, and a wife, and a dad, and the dad's like, we got to go to gas. We got to gas up the car.
Yeah.
And they go to gas up the car, and they're at the gas station. And the guy's like, all right, buddy. He's like filling up another guy's car, and he goes, that'll be $4. And the guy goes, I ain't paying you nothing, Jack, and punches him in the face, and then runs. And then the dad's like, I think a lot of transactions are gonna end this way nowadays. And then they go and they buy some candles and salts and like liquor and like all this stuff, and they're like gearing up, and you see the people panicking at diners because the diner's running out of food. And like I haven't gone through the movie all the way.
What year
yet.
was this made?
Like 1950. Dude.
Well, this is
It's
my
crazy.
question. Like, it's something like that you're describing. Like, my whole thing is like, back then, what a feat it must have been to have a film that's not so narrative oriented and it's more just action. How do you facilitate that with the lack of resources at the time? How are you creating a
practical
post-apocalyptic like Walking Dead style set? How are you like all of it just sounds so unfeasible
between like Vegas and LA. And like, but the thing is like some of the
So crazy.
matte paintings they were using to represent like nuclear fallout going over the mountains
Yeah,
or
how
the
do you
mushroom
even
cloud. It
show,
looked
like, a
amazing.
mushroom
It looked
cloud?
great.
How do you even? There's no CGI.
I mean,
What
no,
are you
they
using?
have like matte paintings.
It's like
and big
puppetry
effects
and shit.
stuff.
Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it was really
basically
good.
like doing like stop motion fucking you're doing like I mean that's I watched a Ida Lupino film. I think she was the first female director, shout out to Having My Name, with Devin. It was a Quentin Tarantino mentioned it on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think it's called The Hitchhiker. Yeah, The Hitchhiker, directed by Ida Lupino like in the 1950s, and pretty admittedly he watched more of it than I did. I was like, at a certain point the music becomes too manipulative to me back then. I'm like, you know, we all know what's going on. You don't need to try to. Yeah, it's like enough already. It's
a
good.
wall-to-wall
It's cool if you're
orchestral
doing like a
soundtrack.
Nadia Lee Cohen 20-minute video and you want to like utilize some of that for like stylistic and dramatic effect. But when that's a through line to the entire film, eventually it just becomes like, yeah, there's a cap to how much of this I can actually watch and digest because it's too emotionally manipulative. And I understand that was a style at the time, and I respect all of you. But yeah, watch the Dick Van Dyke Show. Like, if you're bored and you want like a nice, wholesome, like family style sitcom, there's just better shit in those cool apps like Pluto and Tubi and fucking Filmrise. I'm so sick of like the Showtimes of the world. Enter an alternate universe and enjoy your life. Speaking of enter an alternate universe, come join us on the Patreon. It's patreon.com/the Ida Hour. It really is an alternate universe. It does get a little bit realer in there, so come join. Anything else, Johnny?
Follow me on Instagram, John Badman, JOHNBADDMAN, like John Goodman but bad, and
That's right.
2 Ds.
That's right. Shout
I'm
out to John
going
Goodman.
to start doing some cool stuff in the next couple months.
What are you doing? What do you want to promote?
I'm just gonna start doing some
I can
stuff.
tell you want to promote. Drop a line.
Drop a line?
Drop a line.
I might do like some.
Welcome to the Bob Grant
I might do
Show.
some. I might do some
Right on.
camping videos with me.
Shut
Yeah.
up. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think of a way to exploit it.
Like camping with Steve, it'll be camping.
Oh,
with John.
can we also do a home tour for you? Can we do a home tour?
Yeah, you're gonna have to fight Joey for that because Joey's been begging
No,
me
you
to
already
do
told
that.
me you'd get. I have an episode.
I know,
that
but he's been trying to like come over.
Joey owes me, and if he's gonna use that shit for his Instagram, that's not
You
even
gotta fight
public.
it out with
then
him.
he's out of his fucking.
You got to fight it out with him. He's like he almost came over the other night to like film something.
Oh, he threatened to almost come over.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? He can have it. How about that?
Come on in.
How about
I gotta
that?
fart my ass off. Let's get
Okay. Ew. On that note, good night.
Good night.
And good luck.